I moved into the apartment because it was surprisingly cheap for its location, and at the time I convinced myself that I had simply been lucky, even though the landlord avoided eye contact when he handed me the keys and mentioned that the previous tenant had left, without taking any of his things. At first, everything inside the apartment seemed normal, but the mirror in the bedroom immediately made me uncomfortable, because it was positioned directly across from the bed in a way that made it impossible to ignore. And although there was nothing visibly wrong with it, I couldn't shake the feeling that something about it didn't belong. The first strange moment happened the next morning when I woke up and sat on the edge of the bed, because as I looked at the mirror, I realized that my reflection was still lying down for a brief moment before it suddenly sat up and copied my movement, as if it had only just noticed that I was awake. I told myself it was just my imagination and that my eyes were adjusting to the light. But over the next few days, I began to notice the same delay happening again and again, because every time I moved in front of the mirror, my reflection followed just a second too late, like it wasn't predicting my actions but reacting to them. One night, unable to ignore the growing sense of unease, I stood directly in front of the mirror and raised my hand as quickly as I could. And for a moment, my reflection didn't move at all, but instead stood there smiling at me with an expression that I knew for certain I wasn't making. My heart began to pound as I stared at it, and only after that long and impossible second did it finally raise its hand and match my position, while the smile slowly faded as if it had realized it wasn't supposed to do that. In that moment, I understood something was deeply wrong, because the mirror wasn't simply reflecting me, it was watching me. And later that night, as I lay in bed staring into the darkness, I couldn't stop thinking about the possibility that it had been watching me the entire time, waiting for something I didn't understand. Eventually, without realizing it, I fell asleep. And that was when everything changed. When I opened my eyes, the room was darker than before. And as I looked toward the mirror, I felt my entire body go cold, because my reflection was standing beside the bed, and it was looking down at me, smiling,